Have Brighton landed on another gem in Matt O'Reilly? This is a quote on where he likes to play on the football pitch. I like to do all of them, but I mostly enjoy number 8 role because it involves everything. If I'm needed in the number 6 role a bit deeper, then I have the tools to do that. This is always handy because it gives me more options, but also gives the manager more options. It's a strength of mine, but if I'm going to pick one, it's probably a number 8, box-to-box type of player. I like to get around the pitch and I'm happy to help out in both boxes. So Brighton fans, what do you need me for? Matt O'Reilly's just literally told you exactly where he plays on the football pitch. However, I'm going to dive a little bit deeper into why I think his game's going to evolve and change slightly at Brighton to what we've seen at Celtic. So as always, let's do a quick check on Matt O'Reilly. So he stands at 6'2". He was born on the 21st November 2000, which makes him 23 at the moment. Fits perfectly into Brighton's philosophy. He's a central midfielder by trade, and he came through the Fulham Academy before joining MK Dons in League One, where he was just levels above everybody, which got him the move to Celtic in 2022, staying until 2024, and now he's in the hands of Brighton. He started out his international youth career with England, playing for the under-16s and under-18s, before changing his allegiance to Denmark, playing for the under-21s, and then being capped at Denmark for senior level. So let's begin with where he played at Celtic, where he's actually burst onto the scene. Well, he played inside of the midfield 3, specifically on the right-hand side. As you can see from his heat map, he's very active in that right-hand channel in the attacking third. And for his first game at Brighton, he started inside of a double pivot. Brighton played different style to what Celtic played. Celtic normally played in a 4-3-3, whereas Brighton played in a 4-2-3-1. And with the depth that Brighton have got in the attacking third, I think Matt O'Reilly will play slightly deeper. So he might not have that freedom to always join in with the attacks. Another thing you've got to take in consideration is Celtic were a big fish in a small pond. And Celtic, 9 times out of 10, dominated every game in that league, which gave Matt O'Reilly more freedom to move out of his position. Whereas in the Premier League, he might not have that freedom. So that's something that you've got to bear in mind when looking at his heat map. O'Reilly is an industrious midfielder, active in duels as well as occupying positions in both halves of the pitch. However, he's much more than a box-to-box player. He possesses great technical qualities and creativity in the final third, which make him an extreme threat. O'Reilly is left-footed, who likes to occupy the right half space, and he's constantly looking to receive the ball to feet. And what I love about him, he's exceptional at finding and making the most of space, especially in those advanced areas. This allows him to match in-game intelligence with incredible technical ability. When advancing forward, he makes quick and clever movements to receive the ball, usually in between the opposition's midfield and defensive line. So at Celtic, we're often seen him make vertical, well-timed movements and runs to support attacks. And this makes him a suitable target for the man in possession. O'Reilly's a willing off-ball runner, and this allows him to find space and be a passing link between units. When he does receive the ball, he takes a positive touch, moving forwards and towards goal. This potentially draws the opposition out of their position and follows them, where he correctly times his passage to encourage his teammates to continue the attack. In possession, Matt O'Reilly is silky and smooth and elegant. He's got a calming nature about him and a real appreciation for retaining possession. What he's definitely added to his game is maturity. Instead of forcing the ball, he's brought a calmness and he slows the play down in order for him to find the right pass. Now, when he's in the final third, one of the most impressive aspects about his game is how forward-thinking he is. He takes every opportunity to attempt to progress the play or break through the lines with incisive passes. He regularly cuts opponents out the game with through balls. So if you've got runners off him that Brighton do, he's your man to pick those and execute perfectly weighted passes. In fact, in the last 12 months, O'Reilly's proved himself as one of the best passers in the final third of any player in Europe his age, and he excels and a specialist in through balls. So when linking up playing midfield or looking to send a through ball, he shows wonderful poise and elegance, almost caressing the ball to make passes. And what I like about them, the consistency and the weight of detail on his passes are up there with the very best in the game. When he's on the ball, especially in the final third, it's considered a composed style of carrying the ball. He takes small and sharp touches of the ball, maintaining close control. But the best thing about it, the beauty about it, he keeps his head up and he's scanning for the opening. This allows him to execute the pass at the right moment. It's technically beautiful, and he can also play first-time passes. He doesn't need that extra touch to dwell on the ball. So his passing is confident, decisive, and usually accurate. He's got this wonderful ability to cut in on his left foot from the right-hand side and send a disguised pass back where he came from. This just completely offsets the opposition and just puts Celtic or Brighton now in a better transition moment. Moreover, when looking at his movement, it also creates opportunities for intrinsic link-up play with wingers, fullbacks, and other attacking players. His positioning to occupy the pockets of space means he can play and encourage quick combinations, 1-2s, overlapping movements, quick link-up plays. But it also creates space for teammates to exploit. So as you can see from his heat map, he plays an active role in overloading the right half space. This just draws the opposition out of their position, but he ensures he has enough space to receive the ball. And that's where his excellent first touch comes into play when controlling the ball, especially in tighter spaces. So finally, on his chance creation, I just want to see he does create a lot of shot creating actions per 90. He possesses the vision and the decision making required to navigate through congested areas, but he also has the football intelligence that allows him to read the opposition's defensive structure in order to break it down. These capabilities combined can be particularly crucial in breaking down compact defenses or just playing on the counter-attack to good effect. This allows him to be a menace in the final third, and we've seen that at Celtic when he was creating a bundle of shot-creating actions per 90, but also scoring 18 league goals himself last season. And that leads us on to how he scores his goals. Well, he's got an extremely high football IQ, and I touched upon how he finds space. Well, he does the same in the penalty area. But wonderful technique to find the corners of the net, and that often beats the goalkeeper, but it's his ability to arrive late in the penalty area. Most of his goals come from cutbacks or low crosses into the box. And that allows him to finish on his first touch or his second touch. So inside the penalty area, he demonstrates great versatility with his body shape, and that's what I like about him. This makes him a suitable target for any cutbacks, crosses into the box, or any deflections or loose balls. The majority of his goals have come inside the penalty area. 16 out of his 18 league goals last season were in the penalty area. 2 came from outside. But he does have a wonderful strike from outside the box. When space is afforded, he will have a shot at goal. However, he does favour releasing the ball towards the edge of the box before moving into the box and trying to find space himself. Before we move on to his defensive capabilities, let's just touch upon his attacking statistics. As you can see, he makes more key passes and through balls than any other type of ball. He's not a guy that's going to switch the ball often. He likes to play short interchanges and combination plays. He's sitting in the 98th percentile for through balls and key passes. He also ranks highly for shot creating actions and goal creating actions. I kind of think that this will slightly decrease at Brighton because he's going to have more defensive responsibilities. He might not be playing as high up, but he definitely will be the crucial part in the build-up play, becoming the assister before the assist. So what's he like defensively? Well, O'Reilly is tall and lean, and I had 2 concerns about him defensively, and it does look like he's improved on these. However, it's just not quite there yet. And that is both physicality and awareness. Let's talk about the good points first. Well, his intense work ethic means he's committed to carrying out defensive duties as efficiently as he is attacking duties. Considering he loved joining in the attacking duties, he actually tracks back really well. That's reflected in his ball recoveries. He averages 6.11 ball recoveries per 90. But O'Reilly is definitely assured at stopping transitions whenever he's close proximity to the ball carrier. But I do find he does struggle when he's defending in wider spaces. It seems like Matt O'Reilly has a mentality switch when he's off the ball to on the ball. When he's on the ball, he's a lot more composed, slower, methodical on the ball, which is considered thoughtful when he's in possession and looks to really dictate the tempo of play. But out of possession, he can be proactive and aggressive. Seems to sprint a lot more and cover more ground when he's defending. What I do love about O'Reilly's defensive capabilities, he doesn't just go in and dive into tackles. He's a lot more calculated and looks to intercept the ball rather than go into one-on-one duels. This plays perfectly into his hands. When he intercepts, he's got an uncanny knack of picking the right pass when he comes away with the ball. This allows him to be extremely effective in turnovers. So although he's averaging 2.59 tackles per 90, he's only winning 1.48 of them. He's a player who prefers to use his tactical intelligence to get into correct positions rather than go to ground it and make tackles and duel with opponents. But he does apply a great deal of pressure to his opponents. He contributes to the team's collective effort in regaining possession quickly. This fits right into the Brighton mould, who want to press high. He disrupts the opposition's rhythm in addition to limit their ability to build up play comfortably from the back. This can be instrumental in creating turnovers in the higher positions. O'Reilly averages more tackles in the middle third at 1.3, but he does have a good amount of high tackles in the attacking third at 1.1. Said I was worried about him physically. Well, he's definitely been a late bloomer. He's filled out a lot more at a late age. Now, from when I seen him at Fulham and MK Dons, his game has massively evolved. So I'm going to kind of touch on his weaknesses, but they're almost becoming a positive. And I would say his weaknesses that he is improving on is his awareness and his body positioning when defending. With times where runners were running off him blindly, and therefore he was always tracking back and trying to make ball recoveries instead of following his man, or just cutting out the space to the man. And also his body positioning when he's cutting out space or when he's challenging opponents, he was too square on. So when he was trying to cut out space, he couldn't see the man behind him. And when he was approaching the ball carrier, he was too square on, and it was almost easy for the ball carrier just to knock at either side of him. But these are weaknesses that I've seen massively improve. It's not quite at the elite level yet, but he's definitely getting there, and that just is a testament to his characteristics to work on his weaknesses. So one area of improvement that we're going to have to see is his body position when he's pressing. Because of that eagerness to win the ball back, he sometimes gives the opponents too much space to maneuver around them, and that just highlights his square on position. He does his best tackling work when he's coming across the defender and covering space for his teammate. And then another area he's going to have to improve on in the Premier League is aerially. He doesn't contest in many aerial duels, nor does he win many aerial duels. He's only got a win percentage rate of 40%, and he's only contesting in 0.4 aerial duels per 90. So it is quite tough to make a forecast where Brighton are going to use him, but I think because of their attacking outlets such as Brajan Gruda, Jorginho Ruda that have just recruited, I kind of feel like Matt O'Reilly is going to be used in the double pivot, and that's why I've covered this area. There we go, guys. There is the end of the episode, and I hope you've enjoyed this episode. But if you have, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on another episode. And I just want to say once again, thank you very much for your time.